IEEE Delhi section, Inter-Society Relations IRS Standing Committee of IEEE Delhi section, Industry Relation and Special Interest Group on Humanitarian Technology, Site Standing Committee of IEEE Delhi section, Region 10 of IEEE, with the Associations of Computer Society of India CSI, Institute of Information Technology Professionals IITP, ISTE Delhi section and IETE Delhi Center as technical collaborators. Welcome you all today to this IEEE IETE BVI CAM technical lecture series on the topic Risk Management, a case study of the movie Tumko Meri Kasam. With immense pride and honor, we are delighted to announce that we, with united hands, mark special contribution for the monumental occasion, Golden Jubilee celebrations of the IEEE Delhi section. From 13th May 2025 to 12th May 2026, we mark 50 years of this vibrant and pioneering section, a journey that began in 1976 and has since shaped the technological and professional landscape of Northern India through innovation, collaboration, and learning. This webinar is an initiative to celebrate this legacy. According to Michael Masterson, success is about risk management, not about wild risk taking. Our expert today shall be discussing the live case and the role of SEBI, Security and Exchange Board of India, the producers, the doctor promoter of Indra IVF, a prominent name in India's IVF and fertility services market, and their massive rupees 3,500 crore IPO. There will be discussion on the lessons learned from this case to improve upon risk management in all organizations, including the universities, colleges, and institutes. I would first take this opportunity to welcome amongst us our distinguished panelists for the day. We are privileged to have amongst us a galaxy of experts. I would first welcome amongst us our expert speaker, Mr. Damandev Sood sir, with an e-bouquet. Welcome to the session, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Damandev Sood sir is a professor of practice at Chitkara University, Himachal Pradesh. With over 4 decades of experience in the industry and 2 decades in the resilience domain, Sir is a certified international and corporate trainer with over 15,500 hours of training teaching experience, achieving over 100% NPS and holding over 18 copyrights. He is a well-acclaimed author of 10 published books on resilience. In his professional journey with corporates like TCS, Zansa, Continuity and Resilience, City Innovates, EY, HSBC, Sir has played various senior executive roles like principal consultant, group head, practice head, COO, CIO, VP, board member, program director, etc. Sir has traveled, worked to in over 20 countries. An international speaker, Sir has served clients in various industry sectors. During his journey, he has also won multiple national and global awards and has also been inducted into the BCI Hall of Fame. Currently director at the One Person DBT Training and Consultancy, Sir serves as an international resilience trainer and consultant and is also the chair ad hoc committee for Golden Jubilee celebrations IEEE Delhi section. We are honored to have you amongst us, sir, and I would now request you to kindly enlighten the house. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. First check to share my slides. Can you see my slides?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you very much. So as Dr. Ritika has said so many times, today's discussions are about risk management, but with the help of a Bollywood movie, Tumko Meri Kasam. This is a session of different type, perhaps, than from IEEE platform, we talk of a Bollywood movie, a movie and a Bollywood movie. But our focus is risk management. This is me in some numbers, but I will skip this in the interest of time. Dr. Ritika said about Golden Jubilee of Delhi section, IEEE Delhi section. I would like to add a few more lines here. I'm the chair of the ad hoc committee. Thousands of activities are being held throughout the year, will be held throughout the year. Please keep participating, keep asking, keep knowing. On Delhi section website, there is a special page that has been created for these celebrations. And there are some freely downloadable files available for you all. Please do use. We have started special projects during this year. One started, one will be started this month also. It's all about environment, sustainability, the society, the world, the planet, resilience as a whole. One person, one institution, one organization cannot work on this. It's a big challenge for the city, state, country, and the planet. We all have to act together. Those who are IEEE members would have received mail from me. Few mails already this year since May about Golden Jubilee celebrations. The last one was about a plastic upcycling project also. There are 7,000 members. There have been two responses. And it's great. One response just last evening. My request is please again look into the mail. If by chance you have missed it, it's not too late. We can start now. Ask me if there's any question about plastic upcycling project that saves water, that saves the animals, human beings, we all, environment all together. Along with that, such projects, some activities which are for the society, non-technical activities, 99% activities will be technical, including, as Dr. Ritika said, this webinar also. And as I typed in the beginning, there's going to be a lot of interaction. Please keep your eyes on screen, on the chat box, and your fingers on your keyboard. First interaction coming up. Are you aware of this movie? Yes, no, those are two only options. Please type in no first response, okay. Three responses, no. I'm still waiting for some yes coming up. So this is surprising, but this also tells us the fate of the movie, by the way. You know what happened to the movie. But I have still picked up this movie to learn lessons from it. Not that whether this was a hit or a failure, but because there are lessons for all of us from this movie, in this movie. Second interaction coming up. Have you watched this movie? No one, I believe. Even I have not been able to watch it yet, or I have not watched it yet. So there is a disclaimer in the beginning itself. While I'm talking with the help of this movie, while I've developed this case study based on this movie, not necessarily all that I present is correct or truth. So my focus is not whether this is right or wrong. Once again, my focus is to pick up some lessons for ourselves. Third interaction. What are your impressions of the movie? So once again, if the answer to the second one would have been yes, I have watched the movie, then this would be more meaningful. But still, you can guess or imagine. I'll wait for a few seconds. Your fingers on the keyboard, please. What are your impressions of the movie? This cannot be blank. Dr. Ritika spoke repeatedly. We know this is a Bollywood movie. Someone could say this is why my impression of the movie. As simple as that. And I know the name also, Tumko Meri Kasam. I checked out the poster. It was kind of dark. Okay. Let me look into the dark suspense. Okay. Let me look into the chat box. Mhm. Okay. Anyone else? Few more seconds. So poster perhaps. Where did you see the poster? Again, Amit. And Pankti, what do you think? It's suspense. And because we all have not watched, and I have always said perhaps the fate would be failure if none of us know about it. None of us have watched it. So those could be our impressions. And also, once again, by the title of the webinar, and couple of times, Dr. Ritika announced this is risk management. So my impression would be that this movie has something to do with risk. By the way, there is always a risk in our life, including in this session, there may be risks. I could have been late, I could have been sick, there could be power failure at my end, even if I have a backup, but both could go down at the same time. I may lose internet connectivity, while as a backup, I will be able to connect through my phone, but there is a possibility that the bandwidth is low and I may have to switch off the camera. There may be some impact of risk. This year has been the year of rains and fires across globe. Such a big contradiction, rains and fires. Those of us, even in Delhi, NCR, would have been facing rains currently, perhaps. So setting the context of the discussions today, I'll be talking about risk management through a rather unusual lens. I'm repeating. From IEEE platform, generally we wouldn't talk of movies or specifically any Bollywood movie, but I picked up Tumko Meri Kasam, 3,500 crore IPO. IPO, if someone doesn't understand, stands for initial public offer. When a company, organization is going public, becomes public limited company, they start with initial public offer. They issue shares in simple terms. We all could buy, we all could invest. So this was a huge amount, 3,500 crore rupees. And it was withdrawn this year. So this is current. This is not about facts alone. And I'm saying disclaimer, what I present may not necessarily be all correct. That is not our focus. Our focus is to pick up learnings to improve for ourselves, not for Bollywood, not for this movie, not for anyone who was involved in the case with the movie, but for ourselves. It's about the learnings for us as risk management professionals. Interaction 4. Please, fingers on keyboard. Are you a risk management professional? I'm looking at the chat box. Quickly, please. Are you a risk management professional? Or anyone? Is there any risk management professional in the meeting? Yes, we are. Everyone is. Amit says, good. Anyone else? By the amount of responses, it seems, Amit, people do not agree with you. There is one no also. Pramod says no. He is not a risk management professional. Anyone else? As a risk management expert, as resilience expert, I would like to say that the second response is not correct. Even if the title with your name is not risk manager, risk head, chief risk officer, risk management professional, but we all have to manage the risks in our lives, personal life as well as professional life. So we all are risk management professionals. Or if anyone, Manisha says yes, great. I like interaction. I want the chat box to be flooded. I should go mad with your responses. That's what I would like to look forward to. So, all of us, because life is full of risks every moment. So, we need to be capable of managing those. So, we all are risk management professionals. Start believing this, then we will be able to manage risks better in our lives. But just believing doesn't help. We all know that. There'll be some learning for sure from this session also. But otherwise, someone may like to go deep into the topic. There are trainings available, and there's a separate corporate ladder, if you want to call that way, to grow into that stream, risk management. Continuing with the context of the case, what exactly happened? Fastest finger first, or your fingers on the keyboard. What exactly happened? It can't be blank anymore. We have talked about, and more than me so far, Dr. Ritika has explained a lot about the case already. What happened in this case? What is the case, by the way? Do you remember that? It's about Indira IVF. We can pick up that, recollect that for sure. They initiated an IPO, initial public offer, of a big amount, huge size, 3,500 crore rupees. Manisha says it's about IVF. Great. And I'm saying keep typing, please. I wouldn't mind if today the chat box is flooded with your messages. That's what the intention is. Learning by doing, by participating. About an IPO, big IPO, 3,500 crore rupees, which was withdrawn at the last moment, and it happened this year itself in March. Indra IVF, a leading fertility services company in India, planned a massive IPO, initial public offer. Expectations were high, as simple as that. When it's a massive IPO, then if I was the organizer, if I was the company Indira IVF, my expectations would be high. And by the way, you all as customers, citizens of India, would be investing into it. So even your expectations would be high. You wouldn't invest to lose money, as simple as that. Or if someone, then again, please type in the chat box. I'll be happy to meet that person one on one. Just before the launch, it was suddenly withdrawn. Our learning start from this statement itself. Just before the launch, it was suddenly withdrawn. When something happens suddenly, there are going to be some negative impacts. Later, we will talk about some positive impacts of risks also. What was the reason? A controversy connecting the IPO to the movie Tumko Meri Kasam. Anyway, anyone, by the way, once again, in the chat box, I'm not saying hero heroines, but actors of the movie, in the movie, I'm looking at the chat box. Someone looked at the poster at least. Or your curiosity when you receive the invitation about the session, saying that it's with the help of a risk management case study, with the help of movie called Tumko Meri Kasam, that curiosity should have led you towards your keyboard once again, whether phone or any other device or laptop or desktop. Nothing coming out. I'll be Ada Sharma, which I do not know, sorry. Okay. Even I don't know, I mean to say. But still, the main character, lead character was Sony. Thank you very much. Anupam Kher. And we know most likely the movie didn't do well, and most likely Anupam Kher, your acting days are over. People do not know you, at least in the IEEE sessions, while the sessions are open to non-IEEE members also. We can assume large percentage in the session is IEEE members. People don't know you, Anupam. Find a new job. That's a risk in your life. This case became a talking point because it shows how unexpected the risk coming into picture. External factors can derail major financial events. These major financial events can be in personal lives also, or in our professional life, in our office life, corporate life as well. The risk may be based on internal factors also. Someday we will talk about those also. This case study focuses more towards external factors as it happened in the case. And that is exactly why we need to study it as a risk case. Next interaction coming up. Number 5, but I have asked you without even showing on the screen, and it may continue like that. So we'll do a lot. Please keep typing. Do you invest in stocks, in shares? IPO, I said, when the company issues shares. Some response no, 2 no's, 3 no's, 4 no's. Okay. It's possible. Then let me give a little twist to this question. You may know someone who does. In crypto, wow, Amit, we need to talk to you. There may be some risks and there may be some learnings from you also. So if not you, maybe your elders, and there is someone, Shalendra, who says yes. So I was about to say we could give a twist to this question. You may not, but do you know your elders, your parents, do they invest? So you can respond on their behalf also. But no is perfectly okay. We are being honest, truthful. By the way, even I do not invest in stocks. I have only one share, which is used to be, no, sorry, I would count 3. TCS, when TCS became public limited company, I was an employee. So it was kind of came as forced given. Before that, there was no share in my life. I had 10 shares of Vijaya Bank, which has now become Bank of Baroda. That is also a story, by the way. So that continues as 10 shares. And 2 years ago, perhaps when LIC went public, I invested perhaps 10,000 rupees there also. And those shares, whatever is the number, continues. But I'm not, I will still say I do not invest in stocks. But that, this is not, I'm saying, not saying this is good or bad or ugly. It's just me, and there may be many people, more people like us, who do not invest or do not invest heavily or are not active in the stock market. Interaction 6, please continue. So wherever there was a yes, whether on your own behalf or on behalf of your elders, family members, friends, relatives, then this question, had you planned to invest in this IPO also? I wouldn't be surprised if there are all no's or if there is no yes. But I'm still looking to the chat box because it seems we didn't know. First response is no. You wouldn't know anyone perhaps who would have planned. Again, a twist to this question then. Assume if there is an IPO today. Assume IEEE Delhi section wants to go public limited company. Would you be interested in investing these stocks in the IPO of IEEE Delhi section? Would you be willing to? Would you be looking forward to invest? Maybe is first chance, Prithvi. Pramod still says no, no challenge. We all have different habits, requirement. Chances are less. Amit also says chances are less. And again, each of these, whether yes or no or maybe, could be a case to discuss at length why and why not. Again, I'm not saying you should or you should not. So interaction 7, I continue with. Was it a setback for you? Mostly no one had planned to invest into this. So even if it was a failed IPO or even if not failed, but an IPO withdrawn at the last moment, perhaps it wouldn't be a setback to you. But again, to continue with our interaction for learnings, if you give a twist to this question, assume it was a huge IEEE Delhi section IPO, $1 trillion IPO. Would you have planned? Would you be interested to invest into these stocks? Your fingers on your keyboards, please, whichever device you are using. Manisha still says no. Okay. Second no, Pramod. I'll wait for a few more seconds. No's continue. If is marked well or marketed well. Amit, what do you mean? Marked well or marketed well? And I'm saying assume it was marketed well. As I said, $1 trillion from IEEE platform. We declare that IEEE Delhi second wants to go public. Assume you would have planned, at least some of us would have planned. And if it was withdrawn at the last moment, would it be, Shalendra says maybe, if it was any big IPO where you would have planned to invest and it would have been withdrawn. See, I've changed 1% already. I'm a good marketing man. IEEE Delhi sections IPO will be successful. We have 1% who is willing to invest into $1 trillion stock. But if it would be withdrawn at the last moment suddenly, then would it be a setback to you, for you? Someone could say no, someone could say maybe, and there would be some yeses also, I'm sure, 100% sure. If it was me, who had planned, would have planned to invest in any stock. And Amit again says, if it would have a negative impact, then it would be a setback. And I'll tell you what are the other ways, reasons, means where it could be a setback for us, any one of us. Let's continue with our interaction. Number 8. 8 by slide number, otherwise we have perhaps done 20 already. Again, answer is yes, I did not lose money because no one had in this group as of today, this afternoon, had planned to invest into this. Oh, yes, Prithviraj says yes. Oh, did you lose money? Is the answer is to yes to that, or do you still have that money? Answer is to yes is to that. Again, I'm waiting for that. Do you still have that money? Your answer yes is to that, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Otherwise, I continue with my assumption. And in risk management, there are assumptions which need to be corrected. Pramod still has that money. Parth has money. A lot of money is available here. See, India is progressing. We should all be happy. We have the money. Good that we didn't know. Good that we didn't come to know about that IPO, though there was no setback and we still have our money safe with us. Very good. You can clap for yourselves. Here is the story of the IPO. Indra IVF was on a strong footing. Manisha also says thanks. Very good. Clap for yourselves, please. We have our money safe in our hands. Is it really safe? That could be another angle, and I could spend hours in those discussions also. Investors were excited. So even if most of us seem not to be interested in investing into the stock market, but the world is full of people. India is full of people who invest regularly, who are very active, who invest heavily. So they would be excited for sure, and they were. 3,500 once again, repeatedly, that figure is big. IPO is not a small event. It impacts the company, make or break situation for the company. For investors, how we will see as we move into the case, as I develop the case and present the case. And even the larger market, even the financial sector of the country could be shaken. That's why this actually is a big case and big learnings for us as risk management professionals. As we said, it was pulled back or cancelled or withdrawn. So who issues this? The company who wants the money. So it was Indira AVF. Who will pull back? Who will withdraw? The same company, as simple as that. No one else did this. So there was no villain, it seems. The company did it themselves on their own. This created financial uncertainty and, more importantly, reputational questions. Who would lose the reputation in this case? Again, interaction, please. Who could lose a reputation in this case? Quickly. The company, Amit says, very good. Okay. Anyone else? Any other responses? IVF company, all right. Whoever is the company, good, Manisha. Anyone else? Any other response? Please think. Broker promote says, right. There are brokers in this business when there is investment into the stocks. So now start thinking more, please. So we say interested parties or stakeholders in this business. One is company for sure. Director of the company and CEO. Okay, so now Amit is going bit deep into the company. We could say company. All right. I'm saying think more, please. Investor, we all, whoever could have. Thanks. Pankit or Pankti, sorry, I missed the name. But I remember the second name, Dalal, right? My apologies. More, please. There is something called regulator. We'll come to that, but I'm telling you now. But the company doesn't have that knowledge. So Indra IVF is in the business of IVF. Your university, if you are from university, college, institute, is in the business of teaching research, for example. If I'm from an auto company, my business or the best that I know is about manufacturing automobiles. Today, last 20 years, roughly, into risk management, crisis management, business continuity, resilience. So that's what I know. But I don't know IVF business. I don't know the stocking business. I don't know investment business. I don't know banking business as much as those companies, those banks would know. So this company, any company who plans to go into the market with an IPO would have some companies, stakeholders called consultants, and a managing company also. Someone manages the whole show. I'm saying show, I mean to say the whole activity process. So many are, not just the company, not just you and me, the investors. So all of us could be involved in this in different ways at different levels. As an investor, I may not lose any reputation, but almost everyone else will stand to lose reputation. This is the risk for them. Company, regulator also. Banks involved in this. Those management consultants involved in this. All of them would stand to lose reputation also. So the issue is not just about money, I mean to say, it is about trust and perception. We are going a little deep into risk management now. When we say trust and perception are also or could also be the risk. Before we move on, let's talk about the Bollywood factor as well. This is the twist. The movie Tumko Meri Kasam was somehow linked with the company's founder. I'm not taking the name, but company we know, Indra IVF, and immediately you could have done some search on Google and you would know the person. But the movie character, hero, or the main lead role, Anupam we named, and someone told, I think the female actor also, I forgot the name. No proof, but the speculation was enough. Clearly could be linked, not with the IPO, but that this movie, Tumko Meri Kasam, was based on the founder of Indira IVF's life. It is his life story. We say biopic, for example. SEBI raised objections, or at least was perceived to have raised objections. So again, we know this from the media. We can't be sure. But we are sure what happened. That at the last moment, the IPO was withdrawn and withdrawn by the company Indra IVF. This shows us how fragile a reputation can be and how quickly media narratives can affect business decisions. It's possible, as I've said repeatedly, that I do not have my hands to the facts. So I picked up from media, and I'm talking so much learning from risk management perspective. So perhaps even the owner, the company, Indra IVF, got something in media, was shaken, scared, and then withdrew its big IPO. It could be that reason. Why? Fairly with big level of confidence, I'm saying that An objection was raised by SEBI that this movie coming up at the same time, around that time when the IPO was being issued, with the help of movie that is based on, assume it's my life story, my biopic. So people dealing with me could be impacted by that movie. That is not allowed. That is kind of unethical, illegal, bit far, but unethical, not allowed, not expected, should not be done. So SEBI would have raised an objection and the company immediately withdrew the IPO because company had control over the IPO. Company wouldn't have been able to withdraw the movie. So movie was not withdrawn. And again with an assumption that the company did not produce the movie. Well, there's a possibility that the producer was the company or company had invested money into the movie. All these are possibilities and make this case an interesting and complex one. Let's talk of some risk failures and internally what happened. Indra IVF, the main role player in the case. Their internal risk team failed to anticipate reputational risks, or that someone could object like this, that this is not ethical or not allowed to have something in the market at the time of IPO being issued, because that could have impact on the investors' minds, either positively or negatively. They did not foresee that a movie connection, even if irrelevant, even if we say no, Tumko Meri Kasam was not a biopic, was not about the or based on the life story of the doctor, the owner of Indra IVF, it could, they didn't realize, they couldn't anticipate, could create doubt in the minds of regulators and the public. That is a failure. We need to be proactive and we should be able to anticipate risks coming up. Big lesson here in this risks coming up or anticipation. I'll talk about that a little more in a while. In risk management, ignoring perception risk is a major gap. What matters is not only what is true, sorry, typing mistake here, but also what people believe to be true. Read the last one carefully. What matters is not only what is true, but also what people believe to be true. So at this point in time, I would like to talk about the sexual harassment training module at EY when I was with EY for a very short stint. As a fresher, I would have to go through so many trainings during my induction. And one that EY does is about sexual harassment also. A lot in that module, but very important point, I'll say only one point that I picked up easily, I will never forget that in life, is once again, if it's assume this harassment in any institution, anywhere in the world can happen. This is also a risk. No one should say, no, it's not possible in my company, in my organization, institute, university. It can happen. And it can happen from both sexes, by the way. It's not only male to female, it can happen from female to male also. And that's why all companies spend a lot of time in raising awareness about these things, about sexual harassment. There is a law, there is an act about this in the country, in India also. And companies have to follow that. What is said there is, I may say, but I didn't mean this. The money doesn't matter. The person opposite to you understood it this way. I didn't mean to hurt her, for example, if we believe from me to some female. Or if a female says, no, I didn't mean to say this to the man. Or I didn't mean to do this to the man. I didn't mean to hurt the emotions. But the man's emotions got hurt. Then you are at fault. So this is what the last point was. What matters is not only what is true, but also what people believe is to be true. What does the opposite side think, feel, believe? That will be taken into consideration. But there were some external failures also in this case, Tumko Meri Kasam. The consultants, as I said, one of the stakeholders are consultants also who manage this IPO for different companies. Even they didn't anticipate this or ignore this. We may say this also. Their due diligence was purely financial. They only looked at 3,500 crore rupees being generated for the company. They missed the other points. They checked the numbers, the business model, that we would be able to generate so much money, for example. The market positioning, so marketing was very good, Amit, but overlooked public relations, media, and regulatory risks. Another type of risk that we all have in our lives, a regulatory risk. And I said, one of the interested parties or stakeholders was a regulator also. I have not named it yet, coming up soon. External advisors should have asked, what is the narrative in the market? Could anything outside balance sheet means it's all about finance we are talking about. Could something outside the balance sheet also harm this IPO? That's what anticipation would be doing in risk management, and they missed it. They did not, and the risk was missed. CB is the regulator. So interaction 9 coming up. What is SEBI? Anyone? This is general knowledge. So this is not related with whether you invest in the stocks or not. What is SEBI? In the chat box once again, please. This interaction has come after a long gap. Stands for Securities and Exchange Board of India. Thank you very much, Parth. Parth. My apologies if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. So this is the regulator who will regulate all listed companies. So even their IPOs would be regulated by them. What is or was their role? Should regulators be responsible for identifying reputational risks? Should SEBI be doing this? Or should SEBI also be concerned about, worried about the financials only, the balance sheet only? It's good for the country, financial growth. Slowly we were inching towards that goal of 3 or 5 trillion. What is the goal for the country? $3 trillion economy or $5 trillion economy? Or is their job only financial compliance? This is debatable. I would like to say even SEBI perhaps missed the bus in anticipating some other risks, non-financial risks in this IPO. Regulators are not watchdogs of perception, but at the same time, ignoring perception can harm market confidence. This is the ripple impact of a risk. For this company, Indra IVF, they lost the opportunity of getting those 3,500 crore rupees. But perhaps many other were also impacted. Even the investors would be shaken. They wouldn't be so comfortable in investing in any other IPO marketed very well for people like Amit. So market confidence also can go. This is a ripple effect. Next interaction, number 10. Should SEBI be proactive in such cases? What is your expectation, anticipation quickly in the chat box? Or should that responsibility remain with companies, their advisors, and investors only? So think, go deep into the case. When you do these cases, even if I was a person who wouldn't be investing in stocks, but that was the beginning of the discussions. Now everyone would assume, believe, Daman, believe that you were a person who would be investing in the stocks, then keep answering these questions. Then we would be learning through a case. So I no more remain that person who doesn't invest in the stocks. What is your expectation? Quickly in the chat box. Would you expect SEBI also to look beyond finances, or you would say, no, it's my responsibility only, it's company's responsibility only? And don't worry about the response being right or wrong. There's no right or wrong response here. It's my view and your view, as simple as that. Both could be right, both could be wrong. Both could be right at some point in time, both could be wrong at some other point in time. This is important point, dual nature of risk. This case also shows the dual nature of risk. That there are two sides of the coin. On the negative side, the company faced uncertainty, investors lost confidence, and markets felt the tremor. This generally happens in any risk, we would say. There is a negative impact, loss, but there may be gain also. We'll see that. Retail investors, especially those who borrowed money to invest, this is once again a very important point. Even those who are active in the stocks, they do not do it from the money that they already have in pocket. They borrow. My expectation is through this stock, I would assume by investing 1 rupee, I'll make 5 rupees in future. So even if I do not have 1 rupee in my pocket, I tend to borrow. So what? Okay, so far so good. I borrowed a rupee from the market from you. It could be friend, family member also, by the way. But the IPO was withdrawn, so I have money from a friend or family member. It may be without charge, without interest. But from the market, from the bank, it would be with interest. I have money, but I can't invest it. It becomes a headache for me rather than gaining from it. Good point. Odaman, you borrowed from someone, family member, friend, just return that immediately because you have not used it. You couldn't use it. You couldn't use it. But as human beings, most of us don't do that. We have a tendency to spend that money somewhere else, whether even if it's an investment, but not for the purpose for which I had borrowed. And that's a big challenge, that's a big mistake and a big risk. And then people get, I'm not saying heart attacks, but heartburns for sure. On the positive side, the movie gained free publicity. Even after movie being flop, we are still talking about the movie. That's again. Media attention spiked. A risk management community got an excellent case study. This is what we are doing. Our gain from that risk of the company. We have learned a lot of lessons and we are talking about this. We are discussing case and learning. Every risk has two sides. Sometimes what harms one party benefits another. So most likely there is no financial gain in this case to anyone. But at least to all of us, the risk management professionals, and we all are, we discussed this in the beginning itself. Our gain is learning from this case. Very important slide, the depth of risk management. Not to do anything with this particular case, but with risk management itself. So I'm happy to discuss this. Deep. So this is about COVID-19 pandemic. That was a risk. But we managed this. What did we do? The governments came into picture, into play. They managed it by announcing lockdowns. The nature of risk is, or this is what happens in risk management, that you manage one risk, but that may give rise to another risk. So lockdowns, government said, this is our mitigation, but that resulted into, look at the next column, loss of business. Livelihoods were impacted. Companies locked down. What do we do? So next column, mitigation was by the companies. They would say, employees, work from home. They manage the risk very well. But that one risk, work from home, gave rise to many risks. Look at the next column. Physical security, information security, fatigue, stress, legality, sedimentary lifestyle, etc. etc. We all may have some different views, but at that time I conducted a global study which is available on my website, freely downloadable if you want to. No one generally in the world at that time and otherwise also, I know because this is my field, talks about emotional impact. And even in Tumko Meri Kasam, linked with Indira IVF IPO, which was withdrawn at the last moment suddenly, there would be emotional impacts. Someone who was looking forward to making money, or someone who misused that money that she had in pocket, whether own money or whether borrowed money. So there's a lot. I've just discussed only 50% of the slide. The meaning is in risk management, when we manage one, there's a likelihood of creating another risk, and even that needs to be managed. COVID-19 pandemic again had a lot of learning for all of us and is an excellent case in risk management and to understand this concept. While mitigating, while placing the controls in place, think of the impact of that control. Positive is that it would manage a risk, but negative is that it may give rise to another risk. Coming back to the case once again, was it a marketing gimmick? As I said, movie could have gains. It has happened so many times that when a movie is being released, Bollywood movie at least we would talk about, we know so many cases, some controversy started, and that makes it a big hit. Didn't happen in the case of Tumko Meri Kasam or for the IVF, Indra IVF IPO. Which brings us to a provocative thought. Was this a planned marketing gimmick? What was the objective of Indra IVF director? Not necessarily the IPO, but making money from the Bollywood. These are my thoughts. I am saying because he had invested into that, or maybe he produced that one. So starting a controversy around that could have made it a big hit. Didn't happen, sadly. The filmmakers used the IPO to revive interest in an otherwise low-profile movie. Otherwise, from movie side, I knew maybe there was some insider risk. Someone told me in advance that Indra IVF was going to come up with an IPO. So I, a Bollywood producer, immediately thought of some movie around that, kind of a biopic, even if not true biopic, not with the permission of the person. I wouldn't say directly it's his biopic, but people will be able to see it, right? And that company coming with the IPO, my movie will be a great hit. All possibilities exist. So was this a calculated risk by both parties? Two parties. One is the Indra IVF company and the other is the filmmakers. We do not know the truth. I've said that many times. But we do know this. Whenever there is a controversy, someone usually benefits. Even if it's not financial gain, it may be a gain of popularity, for example. I start some controversy, at least my name is known to the world. Even if I don't make money, or even if I lose money, but I gain popularity. As risk managers, we must always ask who gains from this equation. Interaction 11, and I'm looking at the time also, coming to the closure, towards closure, inching towards the closure also. Did the gimmick work in this case? Quickly. Well, it's so obvious the response. No, not at all. Amit immediately, thank you very much. At least not as much as we know from the media. Otherwise, internally, who gained how much, who lost how much, we do not know. We do not have all those facts. Loss of 3580 crores, maybe. But no one invested in this. So how is it a loss? And again, there can be long debates around that. But I agree with. Coming to lessons learned, kind of summarizing, we have discussed a lot within the about 45-50 minutes available to us. Otherwise, risk management is a deep topic. We can spend days, weeks, years into that. First one, risk identification must be holistic, not just finance, but perception, reputation, media, A, B, C, X, Y, Z, all as deep as possible. In risk management, risk identification is the first step and is the most difficult one. Regulators may need to develop frameworks for reputational risks also. Mean to say that if SEBI says in this case that our focus is or was financial only, then the recommendation from person like me is that look into non-financial sites also because you are a regulator. Communication in risk management, communication in crisis management, so important. So clear communication among the company, consultants, and regulators is crucial. Perhaps didn't happen so well in this case. Externalities matter. So risk may be internal as well as external. Again, we have a tendency as human beings to first look into internal risk because it's so easy for us. It's easy target or low hanging fruit as the management terms go. But let's not forget external angle also. IPOs can be disrupted by politics, movies, or even social media trends. Perhaps no one in the past would have thought that a movie, a Bollywood movie, could disturb an IPO. It has happened. Oh, by the way, it has happened when I say no one could believe, but it has happened. Again, in risk management, in management terms, there is a concept called black swan. As I talk, few more seconds, please start thinking about what is a black swan question coming for you. The big takeaway is risk managers must expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. Another term being used in the world today is what should you think, plan for? In risk management, of course, today's topic is risk management. What is severe but plausible? You may like to write this term. This is the term in the board rooms. Severe but plausible. This is the black swan story. COVID-19 pandemic would fall into that. Swans are generally 99.9999% white, but there are some black ones. That's why they are said to be rare, severe but plausible. It's plausible. Plausible is similar to possible. Before it happened, COVID-19 pandemic, no one would have paid so much attention. Cannot happen, doesn't happen, will not happen, etc. So it was a black swan. If it would happen, impact would be huge, severe, but plausible. So even if it's plausible, rarest possibility, please think about it, plan for it. That's what the learning is. Some advice for people like you and me, the retail investors. One quick piece of advice for all small investors: do not assume companies or regulators will protect you. Another one that we say is never lay all your eggs into the same basket. So if you invest in stocks, don't do that only. There are so many other ways of investments. Please invest into those also. That's risk management. Simple. Match every investment with your risk appetite. Oh my God, what is risk appetite? I take days to explain that also. Quickly. If I lose 1 rupee and I'm hurt, that means my risk appetite is not 1 rupee, it's less than that. So my risk appetite may be less than your risk appetite. You may lose 5 rupees and then you may start crying. I may lose 1 rupee and I may start crying. That's what roughly simplest terms is the risk appetite. So we should know our risk appetite, and then accordingly invest in whichever instrument we want to invest. If you're borrowing to invest in IPOs, ask yourself, can I handle the loss if things go wrong? Even if the IPO was not withdrawn, I had borrowed, assume I borrowed from Amit and invested expecting to make money, but actually all IPOs are not successful IPOs, or all company shares stocks are not at the same price. I wouldn't make that much money. I should think of that. How much am I willing to lose and not cry? Or how much can I lose and not cry? That's not my risk appetite. I should know my risk appetite. All of us should know, must know. Risk management starts at a personal level too. I started with that. All of us are risk management professionals, and I'm ending with that. Interaction 11, what is your risk appetite? If anyone may like to say anything. I don't know. I never thought. I never knew. I still do not know. I have not understood what is risk appetite. All these responses are acceptable. Please, in the chat box. I gave you one example, personal example. My risk appetite is zero also. I said 1 rupee. I cannot lose any money at all, generally. But live example, I have lost about 2,700 rupees to some product on Amazon. I knew it was fake. It couldn't be true, but I still ordered, paid, and that is lying somewhere in my home in a corner because it was waste. I was interested to see whether what is this product, my curiosity. So for my curiosity, I'm okay to lose 2,700 rupees and I wouldn't cry. And I have lost about 5,000 rupees also. When it comes to something for society, doing some good for society, I'm finding some solutions. For example, even this plastic upcycling project. Another one coming up in few weeks. You will receive another mail from me. Next project being started within the Golden Jubilee celebrations. So when it comes to something good for society, I'm attempting to find a solution to a problem that exists, and I may fail, I may not be able to find it. It may not be as effective as I would like to. Then even 5,000 is okay with me. So I have 3 risk appetites. I quickly wanted to explain that also, but I thought in between there would be some responses. What is your risk appetite? If you do not know, if you do not want to share, even that is acceptable, but at least homework, you must establish this. Think about it. If you need help, you can get in touch with me. Concluding, what do we say? The Indira IVF IPO withdrawal is not just a story about money, said many times already in last 40 minutes. It is about how risks interconnect. Financial, reputational, regulatory, and emotional repeatedly. One who would have lost, who couldn't make the gains as expected because of the withdrawal of the IPO, could be drained emotionally. And that's the biggest risk in life, by the way. It is a reminder that risk managers must prepare for both unknown knowns, known unknowns, and unknown unknowns. The best learning from this case is for us as risk professionals. Always widen your risk lens. Interaction 12. Was there any emotional angle in this risk management case study? You may say yes, no, 2 options, or third could be if you want to write a phrase, you can. Manisha, yes, emotional angle. Amit says yes. 3 yeses, there is no no. So we started with many no's. Toward the end, I've converted those into yeses. It's a magic, isn't it? I'm a magician, folks. I'm repeating, this emotional could be this. If things didn't go my way, as simple as that, I could be emotionally drained. We do not know how many people perhaps had, again, I'm not saying heart attacks, but heartburns at least in this case because of this case. In summary, I produce this. I'll be happy to share this one sheet. Well, the recording is available to all already, Dr. Ritika has said. But I'll share this with Dr. Ritika, the organizers BVI Camp. If you need, please feel free to ask them. This could be a poster in front of your desk, so that is a reminder for all of us. Happy to stop here and happy to take any questions. While I know I have taken a little more than the allotted time, my apologies for that. Thank you very much, Dr. Ritika. Back to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. I'm sure this insightful session has enlightened the participants about the importance of risk management in everybody's life. I would say risk management is something that is not just important to the risk professionals, but to each one of us. So, yes, there are a few questions by the participants. I would now like to take up with your permission, sir.
Yes, please.
First question we have, suggest some simple strategies to identify the unknown risk well in time.
So, what is the question? How to identify unknown risks?
Unknown risk, yes, sir. And simple strategies to, for, I would say, everybody.
There was a sentence, widen your risk management lens. As simple as that. We need to think more. We need to spend more time on managing risks.
Absolutely.
And a task that I have given to everyone, if you do not know, please establish your risk appetite. That's the starting point.
Absolutely. And the next question we have, that's a very technically interesting question. It says, what characteristics should a technology professional or graduate imbibe in themselves to successfully manage any upcoming professional risk?
Very good question. Thank you very much. And a very famous case that has been going around for last 2 years is a technology, piece of technology, which is artificial intelligence and use of artificial intelligence in risk management also very important. I'm working on this myself. Some people have started before me, so they are ahead of me. Some perhaps will start after me also. But a lot that we have been doing manually can be automated. And within automation, with the help of artificial intelligence, especially when it was said perception, looking at what is not so obvious, AI may be better. And again, as I've always said in any discussion on AI, that I use my eyes and my eye before AI and after AI. This is how we should do. That is also a risk that needs to be managed well.
Absolutely, sir. Very well said. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule and making this session possible today. I am very sure that the risk management pointers you have taken from this, I would say, a very near to life case study have been very helpful. And we would not end the session before thanking sir with a small certificate as a token of remembrance for this wonderful session today. Huda sir is busy in a meeting, so he could not be part of this session. But
Understood.
sir, please accept the certificate from side of BVI CAM as a token of remembrance for
Thank you
this
very much.
wonderful session today.
Thanks a lot.
And we also have a small e-memento. Though these are remembrances that keep alive the memories of the wonderful sessions we have.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Before logging off, I was just looking at some messages still coming up in the chat box. And I think
Yes,
it
sir.
was Amit who said it was fun. So I believe that makes the session successful. Yes, we
Absolutely.
need to have fun in life. And while risk appears to be always negative, but actually it's not that dry or boring topic. We can have fun in risk management also, or we can manage a risk having fun portion also. So good. Thanks, Amit.
Absolutely, sir. Very rightly said. Yes, risk is very important. It's a part and parcel of all our lives. But what would be a wonderful way if we are already braced up to handle risk, and that too with mentors like Daman sir. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful session today. Dear
Thank you very much.
participants, you can all
Bye-bye.
have yours. Thank you, sir. You can all have yourself a certificate of participation for this wonderful session. The feedback form link for the same is already there in the chat window. I request all of you to kindly click on the feedback form link, fill in your details carefully, and submit your feedback form to get to generate auto generate your certificate of participation. Once you auto generate your certificate of participation, please refresh your inbox or spam folder in case you have joined this webinar today for the first time.